really well. It's your boy Neil, live again, once again, for Immunity for the Community podcast. How is everybody doing? I'm sure some of you have noticed that I didn't post a workout yesterday. I was actually bunged up. I still kind of am because I got a bit of hay fever. But no doubt I'll start posting those workouts again without a question. But like I say, I just unexpectedly got run down um, through the week. But today I want to go through something a little bit different. I want to share my heart a little bit and talk a little bit more about self love as opposed to me trying to talk about some of the products now. I want to appeal to you and show you what's inside of myself and how you can tap into that self love, and that can start really bringing in your desire and your motivation for a better health and a better lifestyle. So, you know, the one thing that I realized recently was I was missing a little bit of self love. I was lacking it a little bit, in other areas of my life. And the one thing that I do know is that weight loss, weight management, and life in general comes from a lot of self love. You've got to be able to have that self love. Now, what does that mean? Now, that means loving yourself unconditionally, the light and the dark, the good and the bad, both sides of yourself, and respecting all of yourself, every part of your being, every part of your spirit and body as one thing, as one entity. And I know I'm starting to talk a little bit deep, but I want to relate this a little bit back to, how you can lose weight, what's going to drive you to lose weight, what's going to make you follow through, and also why it is important to love yourself throughout the process. So when I started losing weight, I didn't have any self-love. I was very self-conscious. I was overly pessimistic. I was overly worried and concerned about what I looked like, what people thought, this, that, and the other. And I wasn't whole. I was totally worried, totally stressed, and I was not one within myself. As I went through my weight loss journey and I started looking up to people and ways to lose the weight and get myself to lose the weight, I just understood over time that all along all I needed to do was believe in myself. I had to believe in myself even when I didn't want to work out, even when I didn't want to show up, even when I was bunged up like I am now. I still went and lifted those weights, and I got myself to a place where I am right here and now in the flesh, 170 pounds, 175 pounds, from being a 300-pound man who ultimately became that way from many difficult situations and not dealing with that throughout the process. And that was an accumulation of not giving myself enough self-love, and now getting to a point where I had to start again and just start from scratch and totally rewrite how I was doing things. And this can relate to you as well, because I know there's somebody out there right now who's listening to this, young men, young women who are wanting to lose weight, and they're feeling bad about their body image. I just want to tell everyone listening to this, ladies and gentlemen, that's totally normal. I've been there, but it's not permanent. It's not the be all, it's not the end all. And I just want to tell you that you should love every part of yourself, no matter how much you may have criticized yourself, beat yourself up in the past, said things about yourself in anger. You should love every part of yourself and know that this is only temporary, and that you can lose the weight, and that just as easy as you put on that weight, you can easily take it off. But it takes a lot of process, a lot of discipline, a lot of mindset rewiring and priming to go back to what you truly are. And inside of yourself, you have an identity, you have a person inside of yourself. And I think for me, I was lacking a lot of self-love. So I tried to get the love from eating. It didn't work. I tried to get it from anger. It didn't work. I tried to get it from, I may have got it from fear. It didn't work. And that was all in reaction. But once I started going through this growth journey of self-love and understanding who I really was, not what other people thought, not life happened to me, not victim mindset, not any of those things, who I really am underneath, inside of myself, that's when I became whole. And I'm human as well. I'm sharing this with you because this is something I've noticed in myself. I was missing a little bit of self-love, and I just meditated with this amazing meditation that helped me get back to all my centers. And what I realized was that self-love is loving yourself unconditionally despite everything that you've gone through, despite every situation that you may have faced, despite everything that has led up to you being overweight where you are right now, or in the situation you are right now. I don't want to close this off to being overweight, and to people who are looking to lose weight. I want to just make this a PSA to anybody right now who's listening to this. It comes from self-love. The weight loss, I know, would have been a lot easier if I was meditating at the time. It doesn't matter now because I've lost the weight, I'm in shape, and I meditate every day. But I went through this growth journey and understood all along that's all I really was doing. I was believing in myself, despite criticism, despite hardships, despite knocks, despite struggles, despite trials and tribulations, despite changes, despite discomfort, uncomfortable situations, you know, changes too many times. I believed in myself somehow, and I went right back to that. And it's totally understandable. But I just want to say from my heart to yours, love yourself, and that'll start coming out from you, and people will start feeling it. And trust me, you will feel a lot better when you give yourself that self-love. And also want to say, self-love doesn't mean closing yourself off and only being amongst yourself and, oh, I love myself but I'm not going to go out. That's not what self-love is. Self-love is you love yourself despite everything, you heal yourself, you feel good about yourself on the inside, and that comes out from you, and people feel that energy towards them and that warmness, and then they want to talk to you, and you will talk to them, and there's no judgment about it. It's just a very nice energy. It's a very warm energy that comes from you. That does not mean be okay with being alone. I thought that too, but that's not what it's about. I just want to say to anybody listening to this, we are in the last part of the lockdown. Let's not close ourselves off. Let's open ourselves up. Let's start talking to people. Let's get in the street and start saying hi to people. That's what you got to do to get yourself back to what we want, which is connection and love. And that's ultimately why I'm making this podcast today. I could make this podcast about one of the workouts I've done, or a product that I'm selling, but I want to appeal to my customer, my client, and tell them I'm just as human as you are, and this is the key to happiness. It's not an easy road because we've all had a different path, we've all had a different life, but that is the way forward. It's self-love. That's what's going to ultimately get you to follow through on everything. And I just want to say, anybody that's listening to this, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the warmth from my heart, and I send love out to you. And the reason why I say this is because I could literally have a difficult day, and I could pray about it, and maybe not, I don't know, hours later I see a homeless person less fortunate than myself, and I end up giving them money, or I end up buying them food, because I feel that that's the sign that I was praying for. And that's what self-love is about. It's like you feel whole, and now that you feel whole, you can give. When you don't feel whole, that's when it gets difficult, and that's when you feel like you're closed off. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. This is my podcast today. I'm going to be back on the podcasts and everything like that. But as I say, keep a lookout. I will be back on the workouts next week. I just got to heal up. I didn't want to post a workout with myself with hay fever. But I will be back on it next week. So everybody listening to this, I hope you have amazing weekends. I've just gone out in the sun. I hope you're enjoying the sun too. Me too. But peace out, everybody. Take care. It's your boy Neil, live and direct from Immunity for the Community. Channel your inner Rocky, never giving up despite hay fever. Let's go.